Alrighty, here we go. It's race one of the latest generation cars, Thrifty Newcastle 500, and a very familiar looking top three here. Some familiar names indeed. Shane Van Gisbergen leading home a 1-2 for Red Bull Ampol, and Cam Waters up on the podium today. So Camaro and Mustang. Let's just talk about how good a result this is for the team. We noticed handpicking the guy who was engineering these cars through their inception to get up there on the podium with you, Shane. What a monumental day for the team. Can you just talk to us about how big this day has been?
Yeah, it's huge. Like the effort that's gone in for not just our team, but the whole category. Like to get it all together, it looked like the cars all ran pretty good. And but yeah, for us to get a 1-2 is pretty special. Like the team's done really well, and cars have run great. We've got a few issues that we are struggling with, but I guess most people are. And yeah, what an awesome way to start the season and in these cars as well. But for sure, tomorrow's going to be hard to back up. I'm a bit sore, but it looked like there was a few other guys cooked as well. It was a tough race, yeah.
We also had a pretty incredible Amaral shootout today with not much time at all separating multiple drivers. What were these cars like in a shootout?
Oh, I had a shocker, so that was disappointing. But yeah, I went backwards a bit.
We know you like to enjoy a challenge. You want to be tested. You want to be pushed. Do you feel like you're getting that challenge so far with Gen 3, even though you won by 14 seconds?
Well, it's never easy, but I don't really know the answer to that yet.
Okay, maybe we'll know tomorrow. Go to the man next to you, and fabulous result for you too, Brock. Just your involvement with this Red Bull team and coming off the back of a win for the last Holden race, and now for the team to take the first Chev race with a 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, as Shane said, and sort of said just after the race, it's just so cool to see for this team that's put in so much work over the past 2 to 3 years, and yeah, have Jeremy up on the podium with us. Yeah, I'm sure it means a lot to him, the amount of hours that not only him but the whole team and all the teams have put in over the last few years, and these last few months, I mean, have been absolutely crazy. I mean, the amount of hours that the guys have been putting in. Yeah, to have a 1-2 is great, but I mean, as Shane said, it looked like most of the cars ran pretty well out there today. So, great job by the category.
Shane mentioned how physically grueling it was. Obviously, 250 Ks around here, never easy. Given the work that you put in, flying to Austria, the training, everything that you've done, how much did that help you today?
Yeah, it's definitely helped. I mean, the first race of the year is always going to be pretty tough, and you get pretty race fit by the end of the year. But yeah, been working hard, trying to prepare. And these things are a handful. Like it's not easy driving the cars. It is hard work, and you're chasing them around quite a bit. So you certainly work for it. The heat's been a pretty big thing. Luckily, it sort of cooled down quite a bit towards the end of the race. So yeah, a couple of little sore spots, but we'll go through all the rehydration, all the sort of stuff, and we'll come back tomorrow.
You had a pretty good debut year, obviously finished very strong, but from Adelaide to the 12-hour where you drove really well to here now second behind your teammate, did something change for you at all, or was it always just building and building to get that speed?
I don't know if anything sort of changed. It's just probably starting to click a little bit more and just a bit more experience. I mean, definitely in a different mindset coming into this year than I was last year, just because I've had 12 months of experience and obviously ended last year well, but sort of carried on through. So, I mean, we're all started from zero this year, so all working very hard to try and be, up here, and it's certainly a good way to start the year. I mean, P2 in the first race, you take that.
Absolutely, well done. Cam, off-season for you involved plenty of racing as it did for Shane. Did you feel like rolling into a new championship here in Newcastle, all that racing across the off-season helped today?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't really feel rusty out there, but we've been battling it a fair bit this weekend during practice, just trying to get a handle on these new cars. And yeah, today it felt a lot nicer. By the time we got to the shootout in the race, the car was, pretty nice to drive. And yeah, a lot happier. So I think all the stuff I've done in the off-seasons, definitely helped.
Is it a concern that everything that's changed in the sport you roll out here and for you guys, Red Bull go and take a 1-2?
Not really.
What's the biggest thing to work on then to close that gap to them for tomorrow?
Just a bit of balance. So my car's pretty good at the start of the stints, and then through the stint we struggle with a few things. But I don't think the car's in its best window just because we've been chasing it so much, and it's massively different to testing and what we've learned so far. So it was great today to kind of get it a bit nicer for sure. But we need to just put our heads together now overnight and massage it a little bit more. And we've got data from all the other cars, so we'll be right.
What do you think of the shootout?
Shootout was cool. I think you saw a lot of mistakes out there. Everyone was kind of up and then made a mistake at some point. These cars are definitely edgier and give you less feel. So it's harder to put that whole lap together. But I love the shootouts.
Cool. Good job today. Well done.
Thanks.
Let's open it up to the journos in the room.
Question for Shane. Did you notice the reduced downforce and did you find it easier to follow cars in the race today?
No, it was probably worse because you're sliding more in these cars and the temp's already cooked, and then you get behind someone and it just makes the tyres. So it's probably worse than last year, but you can follow closely, like down the hill and the high speed it was a bit better, but yeah, the tyres cook more when you follow people now.
It goes probably to Shane and Cam, given that you've raced supercars here before. Following on a little bit from that one, there was a lack of overtaking in that race. What do you attribute that to today?
I passed a couple of people.
Yeah, I don't know. Got nothing really to add to that. The last few years here, it was hard to pass anyway. So, you could follow a little bit better today with, the less downforce. You got less dirty air, but what Shane touched on, once a tyre gets hot, you lose grip. So it's the same tyre as the previous years. So don't really expect anything different with the temp.
Shane, everything changed this year and you're still there, number one. What's your satisfaction level like today? How do you compare this to some of the other achievements in your career to come out of the box this strong? And I know, I've just been talking to some people, a lot of people have said on social media, gee, he's still there. Well, it's a car parity formula, it's not a driver parity formula. What is your feeling though?
I don't know, all I'm thinking about is understeer and oversteer today and trying to be better tomorrow. I don't really want to reflect yet because tomorrow could be completely different. So got to make my car better for tomorrow.
Just a question for the three of you. There might be a bit of rain tomorrow. How much time have you had in the car to, drive to conditions like that? And how prepared are you for tweaks for tomorrow?
We've all had zero with the new wets for this year, so it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Cam, your thought on rain tomorrow?
Look, doesn't really bother me, to be honest. If it rains, it rains. The new wet's going to be probably a little bit better. So we drove them at S&P in the wet, and they weren't that much different really to the old car. You have lock brakes, you have understeer and oversteer. So we're race car drivers, and we'll just drive it to whatever we got.
Cam, just after yesterday, all 4 Tickford cars were towards the bottom in most of the sessions for practice. Like, was that concerning, or was that just sort of you guys doing a different thing to the other guys?
Yeah, we weren't that bad, but we, didn't run tyres at times and had a few other things going on. So we knew we weren't, at the bottom of the timesheets. I think yesterday we were around that 10 mark, and we had a few challenges which we all put our heads together and threw different things at it and got a good direction. And today my car was a lot better. And JC, he was better. Just qualified. Not that great. So if he puts his lap together, he'll be up there. And I haven't had time to speak to the other guys.
Shane, are you having fun driving these cars? And if yes, why? If not, why?
I'll pass on that one.
And how's your foot? What was that temperature problem a problem?
It's the team did a big job last night putting all the stuff back on that we were told to take off. I just hope, it was definitely okay for me, as I explained sort of yesterday. My foot's literally on the firewall, so and hopefully everyone else is okay today. I could still feel my foot. I was trying to accelerate with my left foot a lot of the time to take my foot off the wall to get a cool down, which is not very good, but I was okay.
Brock, can I just get you to explain your thoughts on when Shane passed you early in the race? You mentioned over the radio that you didn't seem to think you were racing at that point.
Yeah, didn't know what was going on. I mean, it was the first sort of stint. I could tell when he dropped back a bit, he was obviously going to come for a push at some stage, and he had more speed than me. And I think as he found out, sort of when he got past me and got behind Cam, you sort of just get stuck there. And what these boys spoke on, your tyres overheat pretty quick. So I mean, you can sort of follow, but after a point, you're cooked. So you sort of got to have a breather. So yeah, I mean, we're out there racing.
Brock, do you want to describe the heat effect in your car, and Cam inquiring as to whether Tickford have had any issues with the heat shielding, whether it's been taken out of the car or then brought back in?
Yeah, it's hot. Like the start of the race, I mean, when we were on the grid and even when we got in the cars, it was so hot. I think probably the second stint or towards the end of the second stint, it cooled down quite a bit, and the end of the race wasn't too bad. But yeah, I mean, for the first part of the first stint, I was sweating so much and had to keep sort of wiping my head. But it's a hot day. I mean, they're never going to be super cool, but yeah, we sweat a lot today.
We didn't really have any dramas for heat, and then we put more heat shielding in because we knew others had dramas. But yeah, ours were fine. Yeah, we didn't have that heat shield in because we hadn't had any issues during all the testing, and when we worked out that other people had issues yesterday, we put it in just to be safe.
So, Brock, just wanted to follow on from my last one. Were you frustrated with the pass? Are you going to speak to the team, or
No.
are you totally okay with it? What's the thoughts?
No, it's racing. I mean, he passed me. It was faster at the time, so yeah, it didn't. We were talking about it at the time, what was going to happen, and he passed me. Yeah, trying to get a rivalry going between us.
Hey, Shane, one day in. Oh, there we go. One day in. And who do you sort of see up and down the pit lane after just one day? Do you think are the teams to watch out for outside of your boys, obviously?
All I'm thinking about is making my car better for tomorrow. So just racing myself.
No problem. Last call. What happened with the podium, Shane?
I was cooked.
You're cooked.
Yeah, it's hot.
Needed
Sorry
a moment?
about that. I did make it. Sorry I was late.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, guys.